Hey, Greedy here, back to teach you how to never go broke in your quest to become stronger. Since we want to Thanos raid bosses like they're Tony Starks, it's imperative to know how to make the skrill as you move along in the world of Crazia. And disclaimer, I love Iron Man, but he got clapped and that's a fact. As you enjoy the game, there are things that cost gold and are essential to have, such as engraving books, utility bombs, and potions. Upgrade fees later on will also cost gold, and the cost becomes higher as your gear rises in number and steps you've succeeded. With all these necessities being in high demand, the prices are often lofty, and I'm going to show you how to make all the gold you need in order to ball out like a 2000 era Big Timers music video. I'll go over the supplemental ways you can make gold first, through one-time bonuses that the game offers, which is best to grab as soon as possible because most of them span over a long period of time. And then we'll get into the main meaty core strategies to establish a steady flow of income on your own. Then I'll get into the extreme degenerate levels of attaining more gold. If you want to no-life it into oblivion like a hardcore EverQuest grinder, remember that all of these are optional. You can choose which ones you want to do and not to do, and some are definitely more practical than others, so let's get into it. First on the list is masterpieces. Are you a connoisseur of the arts, a man of culture? Have you ever dabbled in the modern day masterpieces of vision that creators have dubbed Cubism? Just kidding, we all know it's the Spanish pronunciation of Gentai. If so, this is the quest for you. It's not an actual questing game, but this will be a long-term play, and boy does it give juicy rewards, just like cultural art does. It's best to start this ASAP when you have free time since it'll take a while. Press escape, go to collectibles, and click the masterpieces tab to see how you can get each one. A lot of them thankfully come naturally from playing the game, such as cubes and secret maps. At 30 masterpieces collected, you get 5,000 gold. At 34, you get another 8,000 gold. And at 38, you get a juicy 13,000 gold. The vendor's located in Sunflower Island, east of Bern. Dooky Island, Epona. This island, located off the coast of Peyton to the east, will give a daily Epona quest you can do. When you fill every step with a reputation, it rewards 200, 400, and 800 gold for a total of 1600. This is an endeavor that'll take weeks to complete, so think of it as a small side bonus to start on when you have the free time or Epona slots. Bonuses, you get to turn into one of these weird looking mole men with sunglasses. I don't know the lore, so if anyone knows how this race ever survived a world full of demons and raid guardians lurking around, let me know in the comments. Next is NPC Affinity rewards. Press Alt-N and you can pull up the affinity chart. You can see which characters give what rewards by clicking on the magnifying glass next to their name. Some NPCs will give straight up gold like Adele and Bern, and others can give you random engraving bags like Neria in the starting town of Artemis. These bags will give you random engraving books that you can either use or sell. May RNGesus be with you on that one. Next we have adventure book items. If you're an old school grinder of long lost MMOs and you don't mind killing mobs over and over again for hours on end, then this is also an option. This is because every mob on every continent will have a chance of dropping adventure book items. These items are collected in order to complete your adventure books. These items will be in high demand for completionists when the server first begins, and later on they'll stay high in price when nobody's grinding those continents anymore due to jump tickets. This is completely RNG, but if you love the idea of getting lucky and getting some pricey random drops, then this may be a viable option for you. As you can see, even today, a Galatil book from Yorn is still 2.4k gold. Now let's get into the more practical weekly and daily activities you can do to make gold. Epona Meter. This is a feature for as you do Epona quests daily, this meter fills up and gives you Epona tokens that could be exchanged for gold. This meter resets every week and it's definitely recommended to max out this meter every week. Take the tokens to a gold exchanger in town and you can exchange it for bags or a chest of gold. I suggest always exchanging it for the biggest chest since it has a chance to drop the legendary gold bar that gives 10k gold. Next is Chaos Dungeon Overrun. When you finish your daily limit of 2 runs for the Chaos Dungeons, you can do more runs and get fragments that you can use to exchange for a selectable engraving book bag at the Chaos Dungeon Exchange NPC. If you don't need engraving books, simply look up which is the most expensive on the auction house and choose that one to sell. You can buy a ton of these, but they rise in price every time you buy one, so it's probably most efficient to buy just a couple or as much as time allows for you. Next is Daily Event Islands. Daily Event Islands spawn every day. 3 random islands will spawn giving different rewards. One of those rewards is 600 gold. Usually I go for this island first, and then if a gold island isn't available, I'll go for the sea coin chest island, which you can exchange for upgrade crystal mats to either use or to sell for gold later on. The final and most impactful way is to make alts. This is probably the best way to make gold. The reason being, with alts you can run multiple weekly abyss dungeons and abyss raids. The game actually encourages players to make alts and play multiple characters. For new players, alts are also a great way to discover which class feels best for you, and you might even end up switching multiple times like I have. Alts also provide you with more Eponas you can complete daily, such as the Dooky Island quest mentioned earlier in this video. If you already know which class you love the most without a doubt, then making an alt of the same class purely for farming purposes is the most efficient way to make gold, because you won't have to buy a different set of engraving books for a new alt class, and you can even send gear to your alt from your main to help it easily level up and have a better time farming. I really do enjoy hopping onto different class alts though, as it's a change of pace and every class has its own niche of enjoyment during combat. Abyss dungeons give around a few hundred to 1400 gold a pop depending on which tier you're on. When run across multiple characters, you'll be swimming in gold. As for Abyss raids, I'm not sure if NAEU will have them off the bat in T1 and T2, as Mystic and Keister were scratched from the equation. But in T3, Argos Phase 1 is an easy farm that gives 1500 gold per run. Because players use this farm tactic so much, it was revealed in the recent Lost Ark Winter Festival that it'll be limited to only 7 characters being able to run it per week, which in my opinion is still plenty. So if you want to maximize, it seems 1 main and 6 alts is the magic number for now. Alright, so let's get into the extreme levels of degeneracy that this game can spiral out of control into.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
This is the forbidden jutsu that people will frown upon, yet if you're willing to go down the dark path, it'll reward you with even more gold. This jutsu is forbidden for a reason. It'll take a toll on your mind, body, and soul and initially drain your time heavily. This forbidden jutsu is the second account. I'll get into the pros and cons of this as someone who did go down this dark path. I can safely say that it's both a blessing and a curse, and I can see why many people frown on this idea. Well, let's get into the cons first because they are blatantly and flagrantly obvious. You gotta start everything over, from collectibles to unlocking continents and islands. But when all this is set up, it's like having a second car in your garage that you can use to go to a shady place without getting ID'd, not speaking from experience. So let's say you have this second account set up. After the long arduous task of leveling the characters on them and unlocking the content required to farm. The pros are glorious after this point. You'll be able to farm Epona tokens on this account separately for the sweet gold bonus weekly. And with the new 7 character limit for Abyss raid Argos farming, you can farm another 7 if you want on the second account. All event rewards you receive are double, some being bound and some not. All the long-term gold bonuses mentioned early in this video are double. Expert Abyss dungeon that you can do only once weekly per account is also double. And at this point you don't have to farm on every character every day. You can wait for rested bonus energy on half of the characters and take turns doing them as rested bonus recharges on the others. As for when and how to do this, I would recommend embarking on this psychotic endeavor only when jump tickets are available and you're willing to buy the jumps. Unless you're masochistic and want to level all your characters manually all over again, which I kinda commend you for. Just know that you'll be swimming in a surplus of gold either way. If the video was helpful, like and subscribe because I got more coming for you guys. Join the Discord, Patreon, and Twitch to stay in touch and not miss anything you might regret, like buying Bitcoin in 2012. When you join, I promise you will become manlier. For girls, you'll still become manlier. See ya.